What's up, cool kids? FD White. Welcome back to another edition of the Crypto Crunch. So we got a nice pump today. Today is April 1st, 2025, April 1st nonetheless. So it is April Fool's Day. So will today be considered an April Fool's pump, with tomorrow being Liberation Day, the Tariff Super Bowl, which is coming on at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you guys are tuned in for that because it's going to be fun, I guess. Hopefully, it's going to be a lot of volatility, I think, leading up to it and a little bit after. We'll get some short-term clarity as to the direction of the markets, the direction of the economy, the direction of the world. Keywords, short-term, because we do have a lot that is still brewing in the economy, that is still brewing outside factors that will determine what happens in the medium term. Right now, we're worried about the short term because the way the markets are moving, the way the world is moving, we have to kind of think short term and long term. Mid term is kind of, a little shaky, a little iffy when we call predictions or when we make predictions or when we think things will happen in the economy or in the markets or in the world. So we're focused on short term and we're focused on long term. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. So let's talk about the overall market today. So like I said, Bitcoin is sitting at 85K. So we did come down to about 83K a little bit earlier, or a little over 83,000. And then we got a nice pump. We have Ethereum sitting at a little under 1900 at 1898. Then we have XRP at 212. We have Solana at 126. We have Dogecoin at 17 cents, a little bit up from yesterday. Cardano at 0.6754, so 67 cents. And then we have Timecoin, one of my favorites, at $4. Chainlink at almost $14. We have Avalanche at 1966. So I'm just going through, just talking about some of the ones that I like to accumulate or I like to get at lower prices. I'm not going to lie. I want to get some of these at lower prices, but in the grand scheme of things, I think those will do well in the overall market in the future. So we want to talk about cryptos right now. It says it's 13.2 million. I think it's way more than that. We have a market cap of 2.74 trillion. 24-hour volume is 77.7 billion. Bitcoin dominance on here says 61.7, but sometimes on TradingView, that's the one I like to go off of. It's like a percent higher, so it's probably around 62.7 on TradingView. And then we have Fear and Greed at 24. We have altcoin season, our altcoin season metric, which tells us, are we in altcoin season? So when we get in this blue area here, this is when we are considered to be in altcoin season. Let's make that a little bit bigger so you can see it. So right now we're at 16 out of 100. So we need to get, I guess, somewhere up in the 80s to 90s in order for this to be considered altcoin season. So we're a little bit far away from there. But I think we'll get there eventually. Hopefully. We've been saying that for how long now? And, we haven't really gotten the altcoin season that we've been used to. That's the key that we've been used to. We got altcoin season, but not the altcoin season that we've been used to. So let's jump into the first news story that I want to talk about. Probably the only one I want to talk about because I want to jump into some charts. So Circle, stablecoin giant Circle has filed for IPO after 1.7 billion stable reserve windfall. So I'm not going to go deep into this. It's just saying that they have completed their first attempt or their first round of paperwork, the S1 form with the SEC on Tuesday. If approved, the company stock will be trading on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol CRCL. So I bring this story up to just say this is just another company in the long list, I think, in this administration of companies that is going to start IPOing. You're going to see a lot of these pop up. You're going to see a lot of things, not just with IPOs and getting on the stock market, but just companies in general, blockchain, crypto companies in general, or things that have to do with crypto, or companies that are outside of crypto coming into crypto, because I think it'll be a lot easier to jump into crypto with our super pro crypto administration. So you'll see a lot over these next 4 years. I think you're going to see a lot of new players coming into the space, or players that wanted to jump into space but didn't really have any clarity, any legal framework or regulations to jump in. I think the regulations are going to be very laxed over these next 4 years. So I think you will see a lot of companies jumping into the space and jumping into the crypto world. And that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. A lot of us need, or a lot of people need, more validity and more validation in order to start to invest in crypto, in order to start investing in these companies. And this will probably just be a proxy of the market. As the market goes up, this IPO or this company's stock will go up. And as the market goes down, it'll do the same as like a Coinbase or you know, the Bitcoin miners and things like that. So that's just another form of adoption that we looking at, another form of good news. I like to see things like this, and I think this is good. And I think this is going to continue, like I said, throughout the next 4 years. Like I've been telling the community, the Cool Kids community, make sure you guys go down and subscribe to the Telegram. Link will be in the pinned comments. I've been telling my community that, of course, we have our long-term bias, our dailies, our 4 hours, but I've been zooming into the hourly and the 15 to see what the trend is, to see what the short trend is. And these short-term trends have been working. So we're going to start with Bitcoin. I'm going to show you how Bitcoin worked. And I'm going to show you how a few other of these altcoins worked with these short-term trend lines. And I'm just using trend lines right now. Of course, we use other metrics, but right now my trend lines have been hitting. So we looked at Bitcoin yesterday. We came down to a low of about 81.3, 81.2.5. Then we popped up, hit our hit right on resistance at about 83.6, came down, made a higher low. Today, we thought we were going to possibly come back down and take out these lows again, but we didn't. And then we started to form this uptrend on the 15-minute, or this trend line on the 15-minute, came back up, popped up to about 84.5, came back down right to our trend line to form this. Well, we came here, we can draw it like that, came down for a little small deviation. And once we reclaimed like on the 5-minute or the 2-minute, that's where I like to get my entries. We reclaimed this level here at about 83.1, and then it was pretty much off to the races right before the market opened. So like I said, we're Bitcoin right now on the hourly is looking pretty bullish. If we look at some of our oscillators, a lot of them are overextended because we did get a nice push going into the midday. So we do, I'm using Chart Prime right now. So we did have a top here, a reversal triangle here, a reversal red triangle. Then we got this hump here, and then our RSI Prime oscillator started to turn red. So right now it seems like we're consolidating. It looks like it's starting to level off. We do have money flow coming up still on the hourly. So barring any super bad news, anything that's surprising to the markets, any more uncertainty in the markets, I think Bitcoin could possibly go back up. I really think Bitcoin could go back up, but it could go back down, like I said. So it's one of those things. Oh, he's saying the market go up, it could go down. Yeah, of course, that's how the market works. It could go up, it could go down, it could go sideways. There's only 3 things that it could do. What we try to do is look at the market and see what type of advantage, or if we can get an edge in the market in order to try to predict where this market is going to go. And like I said, I'm trying to predict short term. So if we can get out of this somewhat of a bull flag, somewhat of an ascending triangle, I think we can get back up to this resistance point somewhere in between this 87 to 87.5 area, which will be our Thursday highs coming in last week. So we were just making those lower highs last week. So we want to at least try to take out or come back up to these highs here, our Thursday highs, and see what we can do at that area. Next, let's talk about Ethereum really quick. We have about 54 seconds, about a minute left. So Ethereum also had a nice little pump up. We came down to about, let's see, Tuesday. So we came down to about 1830, had a nice pop, boom, higher low, and then we took off. Seems like we are making some sort of, we don't want to call that a double top. We can potentially, we can draw something like this. So a lot of the same formations or a lot of the same patterns are pretty much forming on some of these coins. So these are consolidation patterns. I'm looking at this as a consolidation pattern. I am on the hourly, so it doesn't hold too much weight. But a lot of these, let's go to just different ones. A lot of these are in these consolidation patterns, possibly seeing, or the market is in, just waiting to see what happens tomorrow. So XRP really didn't pump. XRP hasn't been pumping like that. It's been holding steady and it's been holding the 4, but hasn't been pumping like that. So I think, there we go, up. So 10 minutes is up. But really quick, I think XRP will have a nice pump eventually, especially if we get some, I don't think tomorrow's news is going to be good, but hopefully we got everything already priced in. We got everything baked in. Hopefully we don't get too many more surprises when it comes to these tariffs, too many more surprises when it comes to more countries being tariffed, more countries being tariffed, more tariff percentages. So that's what we really have to look out for tomorrow. Sui, ADA, Ando, all of these are right now basically in some of these consolidation patterns. And then again, like I said, we've been looking at these trend lines, these short time frame trend lines that have been working. So if you got it here, boom, you got 2 touches. Then you draw it, you got another touch, you got another touch, and now it seems like we are starting to break down from this trend line, but we do have some support coming in at about 237 for SUI. So we'll see how the Asia session goes overnight, and then we'll wake up and start the day again. Start the day, get started, and start the day, get started. That's the same thing. And then figure out what to do, once these Trump tariff announcements comes out, these Trump Liberation Day or America Liberation Day. We'll see what happens, and hopefully we don't get a dump. Hopefully this was not an April Fool's pump, and we can continue forward, man. But like I said, we do have a lot of other headwinds in the markets, in the economy, in the world coming in the future. Short term, we need to get these tariffs kind of figured out so we can digest it in the market and we can move forward from this. I don't think it's going to be just something that's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be just over, because this is a trade war. And trade wars, we have reciprocal tariffs, not only from us, but other countries might be fed up. Like, okay, we're not going to keep doing this. We're going to start doing this. And then Trump going to come back. So it could be a back and forth thing for a while. We just want to be cognitive of how the market is moving, how the market is reacting, and making sure we're not leveraged too much, making sure we're not in the markets too heavy or with stuff that we don't want to lose, because this market can turn around in either direction in the blink of an eye. So that's just my 2 cents. This is the Crypto Crunch. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Appreciate all my new subscribers, all my returning subscribers, all the cool kids. You are greatly appreciated. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace.